Hi everyone, I wanted to pop in today to talk about two of my favorite things, systems and teams. So sometimes I wonder how I manage to get through my daily to-do list. Not to brag, but believe me, my to-do list, it can get a little bit crazy. I'm working with dozens of different clients in several different industries, and it takes a lot to keep everything straight, which is why I live by my project management system. I use teamwork, and it is my lifeline. I couldn't work without it. It keeps every single project organized and ensures that I never miss a detail or a deadline. So keeping things organized, that's the easy part. Getting it all done on time, that's a little bit more work. So that's why I have a team. And it took many years for me to realize the benefits of hiring a virtual assistant. I know, the irony is not lost on me. But once I did, everything changed in my business. I could suddenly take on way more high level tasks because I wasn't always focused on all these little tiny details. And with my team, I could set up systems and automated processes so the parts of my business would simply take care of themselves in the background. And you can imagine how many headaches this strategy has prevented over the past few years. And by partnering with a virtual assistant, I've scaled my business and made more money. So if you're looking to scale your business, and of course you want to make more money, right? Then I recommend that you do the same thing. And here's how. So back when I was a one-woman band, I was taking care of every aspect of my business. And seeing as I was a virtual assistant, that meant I was taking care of multiple aspects of my clients' businesses as well. And eventually, this led to stress and anxiety and burnout, like complete overload. So trust me, whenever I'm on a consultation call with a small business owner or an entrepreneur, I hear over and over again about how stressed out they are, and I get it. I've been there. And when I decided to hire a virtual assistant, I needed to be strategic about who I was bringing on. I knew that I wanted someone who could turn out the highest quality of work in record time. And basically, I wanted to work with people like me. I was looking for my mini me. And they're hard to find. They are really hard to find. And, there's so many people out there who advertise themselves as virtual assistants, but I was looking for a virtual assistant who could fill in as me where necessary. And so my first hire was to bring on a genuine admin assistant. I really needed someone who could coordinate every part of my business, everything from project management to staying on top of emails and ensuring that projects were moving forward on schedule. The second I found this person, my load lightened instantly. I felt this huge weight off of my shoulders. I was no longer waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. I forgot to do that. So once I had that nailed down, then the next assistant that I really needed was a professional copy editor. So there are so many people out there who can handle maybe, writing an occasional social media post, but I was really looking for someone that could ensure that every piece of copy that I was putting out was polished to perfection. And that was so helpful in so many different ways in my business. And then finally, I really needed a graphic designer. So I get tons and tons of requests for graphic design, everything from webinar decks to weekly newsletters, magazine ads, social media graphics, logos, websites. You get the idea. I needed someone who could quickly come in when I needed extra help, when I was overloaded. And once I found that person, the design part of my business underwent a massive upgrade. And so today my virtual team looks a lot different than it did back then. There's a lot more moving pieces now, but I still firmly believe in that trinity of virtual assistants, the administrative, copywriting, copy editing, and design. They're really the pillars of so many small businesses and really can help you build into a successful business. Many people find hiring a new employee to be one of the most successful things that a small business owner has to do. Thankfully, hiring a virtual assistant is a little bit less stressful, but that selection process is really just as important. So you don't want to just hire the first virtual assistant that you come across. I'm fully aware of how jam-packed my field is with hopeful virtual assistants. So when you do that first Google search for a virtual assistant, you're going to get hits from all over the world. So it can be a bit of a struggle to find, to really figure out how you're going to sift through and find the right one. So the first thing that pops to mind is referral, right? So ask the people around you, your colleagues, see if you can get a recommendation. That's how I get a lot of work myself, is that one of my clients refers me to new clients. But then you really need to sit down and decide what you want your virtual assistant to do. So if you have a ton of social media to write every week, or you need help growing your social media accounts or running Facebook ads, then you probably want to find a virtual assistant who specializes in all aspects of social media marketing. And if you're drowning in emails, you have overdue projects, or you're finding that you're just not organized, then an administrative virtual assistant is probably going to be a great fit for you. Maybe you need help polishing your webinar slide deck or different parts of your business, that don't really have to relate to copywriting or admin. Maybe you do need a graphic designer. Maybe you need someone who's really great at tech. The list goes on and on. So you really need to sit down and decide what areas of your business you need help with, or you're ready to hand off work, and then kind of go from there. And next, of course, you want to see samples of their work. Can they direct you to social media feeds that they manage? How about a website that they designed? You really need to be able to see what they can do for you. And then finally, of course, schedule a very in-depth consultation with your potential virtual assistant. And if you aren't sure where to start when you're looking to hire a virtual assistant, you really should check out my new webinar that I have coming up. It's 7 powerful ways to kickstart your digital marketing, how to create a digital marketing strategy and use a virtual assistant team to implement it. So it's a free masterclass, and in it, I really show you how to research your target audience and create your customer avatar, but also analyze your competition. And then we dig into some of the best short-term and long-term digital marketing solutions for your business, and then wrap it up with how to audit your online presence and how to create a digital marketing strategy and then launch it using a virtual assistant or a virtual assistant team. So if you've been thinking about creating a profitable online business that gives you the freedom to do what you love, but you aren't really sure where to start, then this webinar is probably for you. Or maybe you know that you need a digital marketing strategy to grow your online business, but you lack the necessary skills, time, or know-how, then you probably want to check it out. But either way, you might be thinking to yourself, well, this sounds fantastic. This sounds great, but I can't afford it. Well, I know where you're coming from. Back when I was resistant to the idea of hiring a virtual assistant, I would always use my budget as an excuse. It was tough to see how I could afford to bring on additional help. But then I realized something, my virtual assistant wasn't going to be a full-time employee. Instead, I could hire them to do the work that I needed done and nothing else. So if I was running behind on my own social media, I could hire them to help me take care of it. Or maybe I was really struggling with getting my weekly blog and newsletters scheduled and sent out. A virtual assistant could help with that. So when you start to think of a virtual assistant in that way, the idea becomes way more affordable. You also need to realize how delegating work allows you to serve your clients better. So right now, you're dividing all of your efforts. And when you bring on additional help, you can focus on those critical tasks, or the tasks that you really love, or the tasks that you really need to do that are in your genius that only you can do. And hiring a virtual assistant will instantly improve your business's client care because you're going to have more time and energy to do it. And that right there is a significant win. And finally, you need to shift your focus off of the short term and really start thinking long term. So that old phrase, it takes money to make money, well, that's totally true. And if you want to expand your business, break into new markets, revamp your products and services, or even find new clients, you're going to need extra help to do it. We only have so much personal bandwidth in a day. And by hiring a virtual assistant or virtual assistant team, you will get more time and more energy, allowing you to grow your business and even double your business, just like I did. So let's wrap up what we talked about today. So small business owners take way too much on top of their own shoulders. So finding the right virtual assistant or virtual assistant team, it can feel tricky, but it's definitely worth it. So you really want to sit down and kind of figure out where you need a virtual assistant most and start there and then branch out from there. So if you do a lot of writing, then your first virtual assistant might be a copywriter. If you find yourself really struggling with social media, you might need a social media virtual assistant. You really just need to sit down and kind of map that out. Of course, when you do decide on a few, you want to check and ask for samples. You want to check them out online. And, remember, it does take money to make money, but you don't have to pay a virtual assistant full-time or even part-time benefits. And you really can double the size of your business when you bring on a virtual assistant to your team. So these are just a few ideas on how a virtual assistant can grow your business and give you some of your more valuable time back. And if you are looking for a little bit more detail on how to get started, I have a really great free download for you. I'll leave the link for you in the notes below, but it's how to use a virtual assistant team to grow your business and get your life back. It's a workbook that lays out everything you need to know to find and work with an entire virtual assistant team. And if you've heard anything here that makes you curious about, what a virtual assistant can add to your business, please reach out. I'd love to talk, answer any questions that you have. I hope that you found these tips inspiring. I hope that you sit down and really take some time to think about how you can grow your business using systems and a team. And a virtual assistant really should be something that you're looking into for the new year. I'll see you next time.